Halloween new footage.
I heard about it. It's supposed to have like a long tracking shot.
Venom trailer.
Oh, we can talk about Venom.
I didn't watch the new Venom trailer.
Really?
Everyone was like,
No, man, watch things. Stop listening to people. Make your own
It was you
opinion.
guys.
I haven't given up hope on yet.
He's like, I got that on the group
This
chat.
is like, my rating
This is
system.
your Twitter. This is your Twitter right here.
Well, this is my rating system. If everyone is in it, it's like, oh.
Wrangle us in, Adam. Wrangle us in.
I
Let's do
think the
this.
main complaint is that we could do the fucking Venom voice with this damn board. That's how simple it sounds. Check.
There's a Venom voice.
That's what Venom sounds like.
We both got to talk
Yeah,
at the same
basically.
time, though, so that we have the double voice going.
Exactly.
And you guys
See,
have
they
to
didn't even do that.
really
I don't think.
wispy white
Hello,
voice.
check.
That's already my voice.
Pancreas, so many delicious snacks.
We don't want to
weirdo.
do that.
Yeah, he was kind of weird.
He almost sounds
He's
a
like,
Tyson.
I think I have a virus. It's okay though.
He sounds wit. Yeah, let's talk about that because that's a fucking weird.
Okay. Wong.
Hello and welcome to episode 30 of No Outside Food Allowed. We're a group of geeks, mostly out of Las Vegas. This weekend we spent time at EVO, the Evolution Championship Series, basically the Super Bowl of fighting games, basically Eddie's Haven. We're going to dive into that, plus our No Outside Flix Allowed, where we'll review Extinction with Michael Pena. I'm Adam, and for EVO, I'm going to be Link from Super Smash Brothers, my favorite character. I'll give you guys your options. Chris Felix.
Oh damn.
There's so many of them.
Literally just
Marth.
There
Yeah,
you
that was
go.
my boy.
Nice. Eddie McGowan.
I'm gonna be Cloud. What? Yeah,
Nice. I almost went there.
We're going Super Smash.
Super Smash. Chai Chu Chair Wong.
I'll be Pichu.
Pichu,
Get
the
outta here.
little one.
Get
Right? Sam Lim.
I'll be Snake from Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid. And a surprise visit from our last member, Chris Gotti, in the studio. What's up, man?
Hey, it's good to be here, guys.
He
Super
doesn't know
Smash
what
Brothers.
Smash Brothers is.
I have never played it, but I'm assuming I can
know
pick
there's
anyone
plenty of
off
them.
that wall that
Yeah.
we're
Yes.
standing next to you. I'm just gonna go with Luigi.
Yeah.
I was gonna choose Mac, and I'm surprised you didn't choose Mac because we talked about that.
Oh
yesterday.
yeah. I'm not gonna go into
Little
that. I'm surprised you didn't go Wii Fit Trainer then. So you put that out.
Yeah, that's my goal when that game comes out. I'm gonna master that character.
Hitting people with the volleyball.
We had a
Our
lot of fun
medicine
at the
ball.
Super Smash Brothers booth, actually. It was good stuff.
Yeah, beautiful.
What do you want to start with, guys? What have we been checking out this week, I guess, before EVO?
Nothing happened.
There hasn't really been a lot besides working, right, Eddie?
I just got like 3 jobs now, right?
2.5, if you include parenting.
I was.
Yeah, it's-
If you include working out, when do you sleep?
I don't. This is my second monster.
Eddie's our version of The Rock.
Right.
Except he's broke. But
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
we'll get better. You'll get better.
Damn.
he's not wrong.
Any advertisers out there where, currently looking?
Yeah.
You escaped.
cup
You
noodles.
escaped Evo with only getting 2 shirts. That's not. It's not bad.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good. There was a lot more stuff I wanted to buy. Oh, you know what? I bought a keychain too.
No, we did get some
Chun-Li.
keychain.
Dude, that
Booty. It
custom
was Booty Chun-Li.
Yeah, beautiful.
I'd say those the customizing of the fight
Oh
stick.
my god.
The base was
So glad I
200.
just-
Like that hurt me so bad. The base was 200 freaking
But it's-
dollars.
We'll get there.
Everything. Yeah, we'll get
Yeah,
there.
true. We'll get there.
Temptation.
All right, so a couple things. Besides EVO, there was another convention in town which had some breaking news for some people who enjoy Star Trek. Felix.
I didn't say I don't enjoy it. I just don't know it.
There's only one adventure
There's a
you
difference.
need in
No, you were
space
dismissive. You're like.
that involves stars.
Gate.
Yeah,
Alright,
there you
He's
go.
out of here.
Stargate, yes.
Star Wars.
Fox?
Even though they've hurt me lately.
Exactly. Anyway, so back to the franchise that's probably not going to hurt me, hopefully, because they're bringing back Patrick Stewart as Captain Jean-Luc Picard in his own series, apparently. It's going to be...
I hope he's just drinking space
Captain, my captain.
mimosas and
Whoa, he only drinks
hanging
space
out.
tea, bro.
Think of the.
Earl
That's
Grey.
right, Earl Grey.
Exactly.
oh my god.
It's just gonna
We're
be him at a
fans,
desk
we know.
writing his memoirs,
Totally.
drinking Earl Grey.
People
Be
are
like,
gonna be like,
it's gonna be like
"You
Bilbo
wanna join?"
Baggins, and he'll be like writing just a story,
Like the movie, the
Captain's
TV
Log.
show is just him going,
Captain's Log.
make it so, number 2.
Yes.
They're gonna be asking him, "You want to go on this adventure?" And he's like, No,
I'm too old for that shit.
retired. Just
Number
watching
one,
him
my pen has
smoking
run
his
out.
pipe.
Make it so.
That's
my
my amazing.
attempt at a British accent. It's awful.
So it's gonna be on their all access. Whatever
From
they call them.
CBS.
CBS
yeah,
all
CBS.
access
I hate this shit.
channel subscription.
Because
I
I
hate
haven't
all
Yeah,
those
so,
things.
so now you gotta. Yeah, I haven't caught the Discovery one either because it's on the all access, but it looks good. It has pretty good reviews. Might have to do it for this one though.
So is this CBS Access like included in your package, or do you have to pay for it separately?
Oh,
Favorite
CBS
separate.
Access is like Netflix.
Yeah, it's like Netflix.
It's another subscription
Fucking
service.
Jesus.
And it's funny because these things are
Whoa,
right in
whoa.
the price point.
Pictures
that you,
right there, bro.
That you would actually like pay
Bro,
for
that
it, right?
is
Yeah,
too
one at a
light
time and
skin
then get
person
nickel and
for
dime.
anyone
next
that
thing
lived
you
in
know,
that
like,
time.
you do actually cut the cable, and
Like,
it's
even if-
$75.
Yeah.
Even if
Is it going
Jesus
on
was
about
white,
Jesus?
like he would have like way darker tan, right? I'm just saying.
Did we tangent into Jesus?
we did, and we changed to his complexion. You know,
I'm just saying.
So you're saying John Luke is Jesus? They were saying?
Yeah, like two totally different conversations going on.
I know.
So, are you excited for
Alright,
this show?
yeah,
To
let's
the
do it.
fans, are you guys looking forward to this?
Wrangle it in. So Felix, are you excited for this? Because you don't like Star Trek.
I don't dislike Star Trek. I actually want to go and watch it. I mean, like, I don't know. It's just something I didn't really grow up with that much. It was like, I only had ADD as a kid, man. It was boring compared to Star Wars, honestly. I had colors and explosions over here. These guys were talking over here. And, like, I didn't really see much outside of the ship. So,
Dude, did you know how many morals that I learned from Captain Picard?
again, I was a
Exactly.
dumb kid. Really, really dumb kid.
Oh, no. It's
Real
fine.
dense.
It's fine. You can go back and watch it Netflix now.
I tried
I do
watching
wanna
some of the Next Generation. That's the one with Picard, right?
Yeah.
Seen
Yes.
it? I'm trying.
Yes.
And it was weird. Fucking really
There's-
weird. I mean, it was kind of hard to get
I
into
heard
right
the
away.
first season's a little weird.
A little?
Like the first
A
7
little?
Like, it's Star Trek.
Yeah.
The first like 7 episodes or something I heard is like kind of rough. And
Well, I mean, you're talking,
mean,
late
it was
80s,
like
early
late
90s.
80s.
Yeah.
Special
I
effects were
used to-
kind of weird.
Production budgets. And,
Yeah. The wife's a big fan though, so like she actually enjoys it. So I mean, maybe I'll try getting into it again. I've enjoyed the new
it
films.
was-
I know
it
that's something
was
to base it
on
off.
for,
But
had it been like almost 10 seasons, right? So
Oh, yeah, exactly.
you get into the later ones, and when they start adapting them into movies and stuff like that, yeah, they get into so much better
the
content.
cool part
and-
was there was a lot of TV movies for Star Trek, and then one of my favorite one was when he had to finally confront and take on Q and his challenges.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah, Q
Like-
was cool. He was like the godlike being. He could basically do anything. He had magic, and he would go and he would test, the Enterprise,
Picard.
mostly Picard, because he
Yeah.
thought Picard had that, he was like one of the best humans and had the morals and all that kind of
Example
values
and-
of
There's
the
no
best
wrong
of
about
us
that.
and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Like honestly,
did.
being raised on that TV show was awesome. Like you said, I learned a lot of things from that show, like a lot of morals, like a lot of good values. And for a kid, it was kind of weird because I took the show pretty serious. Like when they would connect or have like special guest characters from other shows show up, I'm like, oh man, that's so freaking cool, Or the episode where he got kidnapped and turned into a Borg, I was like, what?
that was a good.
What's
experience.
going on?
Great.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh,
the thing,
dude, some of the writings.
every once in a while could loop together a story arc that was about the length of a good movie, and you would have that Borg one where he was assimilated and he turned to be a bad guy, and you're just like, this is Picard. You've been watching this
Yeah,
your
total flip
hero.
on his character.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
found it connected to me because like they also had a character, Wesley Crusher, who was
Totally.
a kid, close to my age, got to be on the ship. You're like, oh my god, he gets to do all this cool stuff, and like it just kind of connected that piece that I think was missing from like the old, Kirk
Sure.
stuff. And so yeah, you think about like how long ago that was. A little cheesy, some of the special effects when they first started were not that
Yeah.
good. Then it kind of caught fire, and then you can see the production value kind of tick up, and then the movies
Yeah.
launched, and so they took a lot of that storyline, put it into the show. It was, I love it. I can still go back and watch it. It is tough to start. I think the first season's not the amazing, but there's some really good stuff in there.
it was that show that my grandmother that I lived with at the time would watch, and I would sometimes catch. Or as I got older, it was a show that if it came on, I'd be like, yeah I'll watch this.
Yeah.
But like I've
Right.
not like I did watch a lot of the old Next Generation, or Kirk ones, and but still, it was always Star Wars for me.
I think
You
I
can
got
always do
into it
both.
mostly.
You can do both.
I know you can do both,
that.
but I mean,
I just want to let you know that. You can do
But
both.
they-
For
they're
a while,
different.
you couldn't. I mean, it was like not
dare
acceptable.
oh yeah.
You're like, why?
I'm never
I never
one of
understood
those
that,
people,
but
except-
yeah.
Well, one thing is
DC or Marvel,
Except you
same
can't
thing.
be a
Right? You
horde.
can't love
You
both.
can't be a horde on the podcast.
But
Get out.
doing just watching that show opened my mind as an artist to draw more, and just knowing the idea of they have a hollow deck Like that was
Totally.
so crazy as a kid, you know.
I still am waiting for my holiday.
right.
I want a full deck.
It expands your like imagination.
What are you talking about, Eddie? Moving on.
That was good.
On that
Or a
joke.
solid.
I'll allow it.
It's
All right, so there was a new trailer put out for our new favorite movie, Venom.
Yeah, we'll be there day one.
Yeah, we're
mean,
we're
well,
all gonna see
probably.
I'm
it,
going to be,
but we're all definitely on the fence still.
I'll make sure I use my movie pass.
Yeah, I bet. If you still have it, might
Rest in peace, movie
cost
pass.
you $30 by then, right?
Right.
Surcharges up the butt.
Is it still live or is it dead?
I think it's
It's
still
alive
going.
still.
Yeah.
There's
Who knows?
probably
They're-
still
they're
an app
bleeding.
on people's phone. Yeah.
It was. I mean, it was having issues.
Yeah, what
this
kind of emails
weekend,
have you gotten
so-
lately?
No emails except the apology one from the CEO, which was so
Little foreboding.
hollow. And
Right.
yeah, it was just it's disappointing. I
Did
mean,
it felt legitimate?
figure it out. Like
the
pause
email?
the service, whatever you got to do for a week.
Yeah.
Figure out what you're gonna do. Launch with what you're gonna fix, and make it up to your current subscribers because you're just dicking them around right now, and it's really frustrating. And I'm somebody who will go and pay enough for a premium cost to this because it saves me money regardless. I'm gonna go to 3 movies a month minimum. So make a deal with me to, $20, $25, whatever still saves me money because I'll do this.
For sure.
And just figure it out. Like have some contingencies, hire some smart people. Like
Right, run the
you've got a
numbers.
good idea. The
It's-
studios are trying to recover from your idea. So
Yeah, that's what it was, right? They were trying to kind of bluff the studios or the theater chains into either working with them to get them to kind of
Give me some of that
pay,
percentage,
or,
right? Yeah.
Like I said, that the CEO had planned on it being like a gym membership where some people would pay for it and then they wouldn't use it, except gym is not fun for most people,
Right.
and movies are.
Yeah, I wonder.
And if you're
what are you
paying
gonna pay?
$10 a month, it doesn't matter if it's shitty or if it's an Academy Award winner.
You
It's
probably
basically
go-
once
it's
you watch
escapism,
that
you
first
wanna-
movie, you already paid for your month.
yeah, I feel like they're in a. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
They're in a precarious situation now because they're in trouble, and so the studios get a little bit more leverage there. But they've got a good subscription base that they sell to one of these movie theaters. AMC launched their own one, so sell to Regal, sell to Cinemark.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like Regal doesn't have a program like that, and they're still not
Willing to
on,
do that.
on doing that. And they're one of the largest chains in the country, or almost. They're branching out into I think more North America too now.
The AMC one is what, like $19 a month?
Yes.
Yeah.
Plus you get
$19
like
a month for 3 movies.
You can do IMAX and 3D also, I
Yeah.
think.
Mhm.
yeah, and then you
Oh,
can also
shit,
get like
really?
discounts on like snacks and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, there you
not bad
go.
when
Not
you're
too
like when you
When
think
you break it
about
all down, it's always a better deal than just going to the movies on your own. Like
Yeah.
it's $30 just for yourself and a person to bring along, and that's not including your concessions, and that's where you get ripped off. $20 easily, bottle of water, a couple snacks. So regardless of what the service is, it's a better deal. So
My-
yeah, this is gonna succeed. We'll see them
My
back.
trick was always just to go with a friend that has a purse, so I just load up the purse.
I just put my candy in my pocket. What are you gonna search me?
Sam, he got the secret chick.
I thought the same thing like Eddie. The only catch is the movie pass is really cheap, like you said, $10.
Too cheap.
And yeah, I think
Unsustainable cheap.
it's not the. It's just they were hoping like they were gonna pass it like a gym, but they didn't think that the cost was gonna. People were gonna sign up so much.
Or like Gagne said, they got hit with that summer blockbuster, release schedule and couldn't pay for it.
Correct. And then I think it's like what's AMC 20, right? We just
$20 a
19,
month, I think.
1995 or something like that. So that's that like it's almost at that line like oh shoot like regular people I don't think like if we're movie fanatics I feel like we'll end up buying it, but if you're not then it just feels like oh if I feel like now I'm really paying
No, it's
now
like
it
another
feels
membership, like a
correct, feels like-
Netflix or.
correct feels like a gym membership now and you're like and it's not it doesn't feel as convenient as like oh $10 is nice one
Right.
movie it pays off for one movie but $20 feels like I have to watch at least 2 to 3 movies to get my money's worth which
And
is-
I'm the prime example of like somebody who probably helped get them in a financial crunch. Is that it cost me because I bought the yearly subscription only $7 or $8 a month now, if you do it out, and I was going 4 or 5 times.
You're hitting almost
month.
every movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
every
so
blockbuster. Or
right.
It's not like you're going like six times a week.
I was going a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, I've seen 46 movies on MoviePass since October, and so it comes out to like I think 3.8 or something like that. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, anytime I had 2 hours to kill. I'm like, cool,
Yeah,
I'll
why
just
not?
run down there and go see whatever came out last week because I can.
Yeah.
And you got to see like a lot of movies you probably wouldn't think to see normally, like on a regular
Oh, yeah.
budget. Without a subscription service like that, you wouldn't see like all these smaller indie films or documentaries and whatnot. Like, yeah, I think they just underestimated the consumer. That we wouldn't take advantage of something like this, especially like even just to the general audience. Just so many like huge blockbuster markets out there that, yeah, they just screwed up and they just underestimated everybody.
That's why the theaters need to come to the rescue because all that concession revenue. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm somebody who goes to the movies.
That's a good point.
So enjoy the popcorn.
I
and
have
stuff.
to
I
get-
have to get popcorn.
One of these, and they cost like $6 there.
Yeah, so we're excited for Venom, right?
Yeah, we're probably still watching Venom.
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah.
will we use MoviePass on Venom if it's available?
We digress.
But back to Venom, the trailer had a lot more of the CG of Venom, which was
Yes,
pretty
definitely.
impressive. But it also had a lot more of Tom Hardy talking, which I can't
His
fucking
American
stand,
accent.
or something. I'm not
His
quite
Ipa-
sure what part of the United States he's going for with
He's
that
going
accent.
for
Well, the thing is,
northeastern south.
Maybe they actually hired him, overseas. They didn't hire like a U.S. journalist. They just.
His name
No,
is Eddie
it's
Brock.
Eddie Brock, dude. Come on.
What does that even mean?
He's from
he's
New
a
York.
real
I could
American
have been Eddie.
hero.
I could have been Eddie Brock.
No,
and
you
you
couldn't
didn't-
have. I mean,
No,
if
no,
you
no,
were
you
in
couldn't
the
at all.
Marvel's version of Venom,
Yeah.
you could have been Eddie Brock.
Hey, they changed Nick Fury to a black guy, all right? So is that what
Well-
you're getting at?
Yeah.
I'll
see,
get more, I'll get
Well, the
more
thing
to
is-
the Mary Jane.
Would you rather have David Hasselhoff or Sam Jackson? Come on, it's easy.
with the
Green
new trailer,
Lantern.
also they totally removed that female scientist. Remember how she was called
Jenny
a
Slate?
symbiote?
Symbiote.
Symbiote.
The new Cheerios, the symbiotes.
I mean, that could have been a really good media or not media plug. What's the
Yeah.
Integration or whatever.
promotion?
Promotion.
Yeah, something.
Immigration? What the?
Lost
I
the
did not
word.
say.
You said immigration.
I said
dude?
integration.
Integration.
Sure. Okay.
You did say integration.
All right, so we're obviously enjoying Venom. Sidetracking.
We
So,
know.
I guess
I like the character.
I guess the only real change or important part of the trailer was they introduced kind of the villain, which was another symbiote, I guess.
The
So-
Riot.
Symbiote.
Yeah, they're saying it's Riot, one of his spawns. They have an arc in the comics called Separation Anxiety, where Venom spawns 5 other symbiotes, and they each take on a form of their own. And I think that's what they're going for in this movie.
Yeah.
So it shows Venom fighting another version of himself in the trailer, which actually looks pretty cool.
That was that shot at the end, right?
Yeah, right at the
Yeah.
end.
Okay.
So it's another movie where he's fighting himself again.
Well, yeah,
Well, that's what the symbiotes are. Basically, they're
that's the
very
Marvel-
slightly
we-
very
that's the
versions
Marvel
of themselves.
formula,
So
right?
we have
That's
another
the
Logan in
superhero
our
formula
hand.
now because I think Aquaman's doing that, right? Or not Aquaman.
I mean, basically every character has its own villain. It's a mirror image of themselves. There's no way
that-
around it, honestly. I
Yeah,
mean,
sure.
yeah, like
Man
with
of Steel.
Aquaman 2, he's got the same thing.
Well, no, but like literally with Logan, he literally fought himself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's- that's-
Well,
that's-
yeah,
Spoiler.
that too.
But
Most-
Venom and like the symbiotes are all kind of like different, and they all kind of like have their own sort of
Yeah.
personas to them. But
And so what I've heard is Carnage they're saving for the after credits.
and see, that's
So
where
we can
I
set up
read
the
a
next.
script leak earlier this year that kind of hinted at that it's probably gonna be a post-credit scene, and
Right.
that
So,
sucks.
Yeah, that's what I was
but-
thinking. I was like, I really wanted to see him, but
Yeah.
if they have to set up the next one where they're, kind of Carnage versus Venom.
And don't you kind of have to like build up to
Yeah.
that as like,
Yeah,
okay,
right.
we're gonna probably be successful. We need to have a
You don't-
really strong second.
You don't want to
villain.
do what BVS did and throw Doomsday right in the first video.
Oh
In the
my
first,
God, did we get that recorded?
yeah, it's recorded.
It's on the record now.
So
Yeah.
same for the next movie.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But the only thing that's just, and see, I know the dialogue is ripped right out of the comics, but it just sounds weird, and the audio is just off. I can't hear it. Like I don't know. Like I've heard it a couple times. I'm like, what did he say? And like I had to go rewind it and like turn up the volume to hear what he's saying. It's not clear, and I'm pretty sure one of the end lines is like a turd in the wind. That's sort of guy. That's what he threatens the guy who's robbing the store.
It's weird that
I-
Tom Hardy would be in a movie that's hard to understand.
I was
him.
just thinking that.
Every movie he's in, dude, he's got some sort of vocal obscurity.
Fucking bang the same thing.
Take control, Gotham.
Dude, even in what's called Dunkirk,
Maybe he's just got
he
a
was the
weird
pilot and he had
voice.
the face mask on too.
I was like, it's
come on.
Bane. Bane's flying a ship.
Yeah, dude, in Mad Max, he was just
Mad
grunting the
Max-
entire
well,
movie,
Mad
dude.
Max didn't even talk. So
Yeah, Mad Max was quiet.
He's fantastic on Peaky
We have to
Blinders
start the
if you've
rumor
never-
then. He's just got a weird voice.
He does. He does a weird voice on that show too. Like I think he just likes to do that. I
Yeah,
think that's where
he actually does.
his- whatever he's trying to do.
the,
Because
the,
of
goofy,
Catch.
the goofy thing that he's trying or
Yeah.
whatever. Like
If
maybe
you-
maybe
I don't
his
even know.
whole like
I don't even know.
Eddie Brock persona is the Ren or the Stimpy. And
Right.
The Venom is the Ren.
Oh, wow.
That's-
You say that
that's
makes
very
sense.
That
if
would-
you guys ever watch the show Taboo, he does a weird accent too, a mumble accent.
Oh yeah.
in
That's it.
Taboo.
I'm still gonna watch. I'm loving it, or I'm less excited the more I watch more. So I'm gonna take the Eddie approach and just not
Just stop
watch
watching
anymore.
trailers.
And just wait for it to come out and see what it does. Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, they at
I'm
least have
excited.
Venom down.
The fact that
CG
it
Venom.
exists makes me
Yeah,
happy. So
For sure. We're finally getting a good Venom. Or
Hopefully.
better Venom.
hopefully.
That better Venom.
Except for that line at the end, right, Adam? Oh, it's just a virus.
It's Parasite.
Oh, yeah, a Venom movie. I mean, just
yeah.
That's the fact that you're saying that is, he's a side character in the Spider-Man universe. So like, just even getting one means
Yeah.
nerds are taking over the world. Every week, there's going to be.
It's the only reason I have optimism. I love this character. I think he just looks like one of the coolest things ever. So come on, just do it right, please. You already fucked him up once. Like, come on, let's do it right.
October, it'll be here.
If they put Spider-Man in the movie, it'll be better because they got to connect them somehow.
I hope. I don't care if he's just fucking walking by and looks at Eddie Brock weird. Just put him in the same fucking.
Gets a
We shall
little
see.
Spidey
Let's make a bet
sense.
right now.
I
I say
don't
he
know.
shows up.
I don't know because he wasn't feeling too good.
So. Because in the comic books,
Spider-Man doesn't feel too good.
Oh,
I
missed the
Yeah, there's a callback there.
It went through my brain like
Yeah.
3 times, but I thought, yeah. But so the second Tom Holland movie, are they gonna do the Venom suit, just so they can connect it that way, so that maybe the second movie in the
Fine,
Venom
yeah.
universe?
He's like in overseas in this one. Like he's gonna be like in Europe or something like that. So they're gonna have Mysterio as a villain. But hey, it's possible. I'd say they should.
just because
But how did he come back from the dead?
that would be the
We'll
best.
find out.
Like them fighting would be the best if it was because Venom doesn't set off Spider Sense because he was a part of him. So that's like when you said it,
Yeah,
the Spider Sense was going off, and I'd be like, that was the coolest part of the cartoon because that's where I saw it was a cartoon where
Yeah.
basically it was going to
He was
demask
invisible
him in
to
front
him.
of everyone. Yeah,
Yeah.
so awesome.
Yeah, he's a great villain. He's one of my favorites. Co-created by Todd McFarlane, by the way.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
He
Yes.
looks like it. Like,
That's why he has that.
Yeah.
that
The
Spawn
look.
face.
Violence,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love Spawn.
He's a good guy. All right, so
I know we're about to go.
to another movie before
was
we
gonna
get
go to Spawn.
too All right, so let's go to No Outside Flix Allowed. We've been doing a series of Netflix movies, Netflix originals. This week was Extinction with Michael Pena. This movie was about. All right, so
Well, originally it's a sci-fi, right?
Just-
With a twist.
it's a sci-fi with a twist. Are we gonna spoil this one? Because I feel like
We kind of have to.
I feel like the
Yeah.
movie's only twist is the good point. So
Oh,
I
okay.
guess if we
So you
have to
didn't like
talk
it?
about it,
Because I like the whole thing.
well, why don't you start then, Sam?
Oh no, I'm just asking you. I'm guessing you didn't like it then.
I'll get to mine.
Okay. Oh.
Sound effects.
Glug, 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 glug.
This moment is
It was
sponsored
not
by-
it was not a beer.
Is that 40?
I'm not cool enough.
Nobody needs to know what time we're recording.
Yeah, it's a 10
It's
a.m.
7 o'clock in
it's
the
a 10 a.m.
getting
beer.
hammered.
This moment
Getting
sponsored
ripped.
by Monster.
Sponsor, please.
Drink more.
I will tattoo.
All right, so who wants to give a synopsis to this movie? Who thinks they can do that?
Well, what happens is there's this guy.
You didn't even watch
and
the
he's-
movie.
Oh shit!
You
Get
did.
out of
they
here,
didn't know
son.
that.
It's us two that didn't want the people
Here,
who
let's-
Yes,
here,
you guys
All
do
right,
that.
Let's
let's-
give our idea
I'm
of what the.
going to read the synopsis
There you go.
given.
There you go.
Okay. A father has a recurring dream of losing his family. His nightmares turn into reality when the planet is invaded by a force bent on destruction. Fighting for their lives, he comes to realize an unknown strength to keep them safe from harm. Which, sci-fi. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know that it gives you,
So obviously, your movie's called Extinction. You think something's coming to wipe us out. This guy's having nightmares of that happening. People aren't believing him until it actually happens. There's a couple of twists. Sam, why don't you go ahead and tell us why you liked it first, and we'll get into the twists.
Michael Pena.
Well, I enjoyed it because for once it felt kind of original, to enjoy a movie about this man trying to defend his family, from the end of the world. The writing was good. I enjoyed it. Of course, Michael Pena was good too in the movie. For once, we get to see him in a more kind of serious role. He didn't crack jokes, but just the way when you watch the movie from the beginning, you're like, oh man, you're wondering what's going on. Aliens are attacking. People are getting killed left and right. Him and his family just trying to survive. But as you make your way halfway through the movie, you realize, oh, his dreams are connecting. Things are making sense. And then when you find out the twist, do I spoil it?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So when you find out the twist that they're actually droids, not humans, you're like, oh, what the hell? Like the whole time you thought they were the humans, but you find out that the aliens that were attacking are actually human. They can actually breathe
Correct.
the air, and you're like, what the hell is going on here? It felt very Twilight Zone, I guess. That's why I enjoyed it. It had a nice Twilight Zone twist.
So, for you guys that didn't see it, they get attacked by aliens. The aliens turn out to be humans that were sent away from Earth because the robots turned sentient and started killing everybody.
They won.
So the humans went to Mars. So the humans came back to Earth to take back the planet from the robots, and they didn't know they were robots. At least Michael Pena, he didn't know he was a robot.
Most don't know that they're
Right.
robots. They get their memories wiped because of the battle that takes place between the humans and the
right.
robots. And
So they decide to forget the battle between the humans and the robots, and some of them delete their memories.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a little bit like Westworld. So I feel like the memories he's seen at the beginning of the movie are really just him kind of reliving what's happened in the future or past. You know? It's
Exactly.
kind of like, just him kind of reliving those things. And then it turns out that, he's a robot, and basically they end the movie with them running away from some of the humans, and they're going into basically the robot's version of Zion in the underground.
mhm.
Oh, okay.
So who knows? The battle's back on. I don't know.
Matrix.
It was very, like you said, sci-fi, Twilight Zone.
Oh, actually sounds really interesting.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it
So
sounds
you
actually
watch
really
it.
good. Doesn't
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. The only negative I would say about it was Michael Pena's voiceover. It was just so funny that took me out of the moment. I was just like, oh, he needs some work on like voiceover acting, because it was like reading a script and somebody who's
Stilted.
like really going super slow to like make sure that you understand what he's saying, but then like not talking like it was him anymore. So maybe it's because he's a robot. I don't know. But-
See, that was kind of one of my negatives too. I felt like he was acting like a robot trying to be human, and that made him feel like emotionless.
Right.
So it came across as like monotone,
right.
kind of like he was phoning it in, but it was more like he was trying to be a robot, trying to be human.
Right.
So-
Shout out to his wife, Lizzie Kaplan, in the movie, because I love her, and she was fantastic on Party Down. If you guys ever watched that show, she was in Cloverfield,
Yes.
Hot Tub Time Machine. I love her, and I think she was good in this.
And she was good.
And I wanted more from her character, because they give you some like scenes where you see like this resistance fighting where they've got Luke Cage with them, and they're out in the field and they've got machine guns, and so you think because that's the future coming that like you're gonna see some of that. And I was like, oh, I kind of like that like aspect of the movie, which you didn't get to see, but there were a lot of ideas in this movie, and there was a lot going on that I think that
It was only an hour and a half.
right, yeah, and it flew by.
It was a lot of big ideas, but it never really. It was like the beginning of the Matrix.
True.
It's almost like it built you guys like an anticipation, and then
Yeah.
after that, like it didn't turn
Well,
you down just
'cause-
more, and then
'cause
give you
the
that
thing is-
twist.
Because
to
everything
go.
had happened already, right?
Yeah, some of it were from the past.
Yeah,
So
they
like these dreams that he had already took place.
Yeah.
But just the fact that you watched the movie and I was invested into the character to see what's going on. And when the twist came through, I was like, I loved it. You caught me off guard. Well played.
That sounds cool.
We talked about it, I think, last week. Like, I feel like there's been another one. How It Ends was kind of like that, where there's just a lot of these big ideas, and like it's almost like this is a pilot. Like it's where you have all these characters,
Yeah,
and they're really
that's a
good
good choice.
characters, and there's a lot of good ideas, and you could elaborate and expand on this universe a lot. But it's supposed to be a made for Netflix movie, and so you're like, oh, I could actually get a little bit more. I have some questions.
Actually, How It Ends probably would have been a pretty good like TV show. Like even if it was just one season, where they could have explained like
A little bit more of
what
what's going
really
on.
happened, or like where the thing that I hate the most is one of the things I hate the most in that movie was because I don't think I was on here when you guys did the review for that one. I think I gave this 6. But the scene at the end with the guy that was her protector, where he shoots him, was like I don't care. Who's this guy? He was here for 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, that neighbor, the neighbor.
Weird neighbor.
Kind of random.
It didn't deserve
As much screen time as it had.
It's almost like in The Walking Dead season 2. It was a long drag for the season 2, but that scene where he knifes that guy is like really powerful. It's just like they earned it. Where like in this movie is like this guy is like
just some random
scene in this woods where it's beautiful out there, but like it wasn't deserved. Like who cares? Like, he shot this guy in that scene. There's no connection to me like for that, but that.
Okay. Well, I actually like that you mentioned season 2 of The Walking Dead because it's going back to Extinction. Spoilers for The Walking Dead, fuck it. Where they let the girl out of the barn and you find out, she's been a zombie this entire time. And like the entire time you're watching season 2, like what the fuck is happening? This is going so slow. And then that reveal happens. It makes it so worth it. Like, oh my God. Like it's just such a like heartbreaking moment. And with this movie, I wasn't really like buying into it too much. Like, I was enjoying, the performances and whatnot. It was an interesting idea. And then like the aliens show up and like, that's when I kind of, obviously the twist reveals it later, but I'm like, they're so human looking and kind of weird. Like, I'm not really digging the sci-fi element of it. I'm like, I don't know if I buy this. I'm trying to like this, but I just don't know if it's working for me. And then the twist happens where, the wife's hurt, Lizzie Kaplan. So, they're kind of putting her under to go, take care of her. That's when the reveal happens, like, oh, you don't know what you are. And then that's when the reveal is like, oh, they've been like cyborgs this whole time. And that it's sort of a reverse thing. Like, we actually kicked out, or the replicants basically killed out all the humans. They kicked them off Earth and they took over. So that's what we've been watching this whole time and the humans are trying to take it back. I'm like, that made it worth it. I'm like, okay, that was cool. I was like, now that I know what the twist is, I'm looking back and I'm like, okay, now I can really enjoy the rest of that movie because I got what they're trying to do. And that twist really just made me enjoy the movie that much more. Had that not happened, if it was just like
another alien invasion.
Yeah, exactly. I would just been like, whatever. That would just been another Battlefield Los Angeles, whatever that movie was. It's just forgettable. So like that just made it completely turned it on its head for me, and I really enjoyed it that much more after that. So I think it kind of played the long con of things a little bit, and the reveal to me, that's what made it worth it. So
I'm with you on that, Felix. I think I told Ganya this yesterday when they had the aliens. It's like, why do they always look so humanoid? And then it was boom. They are actually just humans in some sort of weird
apparatus.
It honestly looked. They were supposed to be made out to look like insects or ants or something. They always had some weird like sound effect. Like they were like a horde of insects anyway. And so the twist was what brought it around for me too, and it made me want to go back and watch the first part again. Because I thought they were a human family, and and so I kind of middled on this, and it was better toward the end, but another sci-fi kind of B movie for me too. So I rate it a 7.
Did you guys notice the alien guy was wearing flip-flops when he was carrying the wife and he was walking down the hall? Like the lighting, you can see they were so low budget. It's like I think he's wearing either flip-flops or those shoes, like the slippers,
like the diver shoes,
Crocs.
Yeah. Like you kind of tell, dude. I was like, man, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Well,
effects.
in the 50-ish years that they're on Mars, they went from like normal gear, like military gear, to alien insects with no training at all, no tactics, and somehow had like bio weaponry that Michael Pena figured out how to hack in like 5 seconds.
It's hilarious, but for the effort, I appreciate the effort definitely. Like I said, I enjoy Twilight Zone, and this reminded me a lot like Twilight Zone.
It was an hour and a half. It's an extended episode of the Twilight.
It was good. It was entertaining. Yeah. I say it's definitely a good watch. It's definitely a good movie. I give it about 7.5 overall.
Nice.
It's definitely good.
What'd you give it, guys?
8.
Sam?
I'm gonna go with 8.
8?
Just because a biased fan of Michael Pena. So
Well, he needs to go back to comedy.
Yeah, he was getting in the watch.
Another one on my list. I haven't seen that, but
Jake Gyllenhaal made that movie.
Dude, that's intense.
Yeah, he was getting it. He was getting Crash. That wasn't a great movie, but he was great in there.
Yeah.
Which one?
Crash.
Oh, there was a ton of people in that movie.
Yeah. It won like the Academy Award. It's like the one that nobody wanted to win.
Well,
he won Best Picture.
If you guys get time, check out him in War Against Everyone. The movie's hilarious. It's on Netflix. It features one of the guys from True Blood, one of the Skarsgård, and also Valkyrie. Valkyrie's in it too.
I liked
her.
Chips.
Yeah.
Wait, what's it called again?
I just recently saw the
War,
Chips. Fantastic.
War
I love
on
that
Everyone.
Chips. I haven't seen that one yet.
Because in that movie, he plays a corrupt cop.
Comedy. I would watch that.
And they're both corrupt cops that just go AWOL in the movie. So it's a good movie. Warren everyone, and then Chips too. Definitely, he's hilarious.
And
in
Chips,
Chips.
he plays a straight man. So Dak Shepard is the goof.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
but there's like a whole scene dedicated to where he froze up because there's booties, and like because the girls were wearing those yoga pants. He's like, "Oh my god, those yoga pants! I
Okay.
can't move."
He had a
Can't
boner
move,
too,
man.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
I think that was in the trailer.
Cheap comedy,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
I liked
totally.
it.
It was great.
I couldn't stop laughing, bro. I couldn't stop laughing.
Sometimes you just need that.
Yeah.
Oh, and the guy who played Goku is in it, and he gets what he deserves.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Goku
For
from like
ruining
the
Dragon
Dragon Ball
Ball.
live action movie.
Oh, Justin
Dragon Ball.
Chatwin or something like
Whatever
that.
his name
Yeah.
is. He's good and shameless, but he got what he deserved in this movie.
Wow.
Dragon
That's
Ball.
okay. Good segue into Evo and Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of that actually. A lot of video games at Evo. It's basically, like I said earlier, the Super Bowl of fighting games.
It's Eddie's and Chad's Super Bowl, actually. They love it there.
What do you?
I think he's
what
more
have you been
of
playing,
the MOBA
Chad?
guy.
Actually, I can't believe it. After 10 years of League of Legends, I actually stopped and I'm playing Fortnite.
Wow.
Switching it up.
God.
Yeah,
He's getting with the times.
Whoa, whoa,
No
whoa!
good.
Why
Be
did
our
you
group
leave
leader.
League of Legends, bro?
it's the time punishment. Like League of Legends, like when you're in a game, you're queued for you're committed for 20 minutes. You can't just
At least.
at least 20, and it could go to an hour. So like your game is committed. So the moment you start, and if you decide to leave mid game,
You
like
get penalized. and-
you could get banned, you get suspended, you
Yeah.
could get
Yeah.
like it means because you're causing disruption for other players.
So basically, it's a 5-on-5 game. If you leave one of your team, like they don't fill in, they don't get fills,
Automatic
even though they
disadvantage.
should. They should let you pick. Like if people pick like a champion, or if they wanted to fill, they should let people fill. That's what I always thought, but like they don't. So you have now just hindered your team 4-on-5, which
for 20
even
or
if you guys
60
were
minutes.
dominating for the first 20 minutes, if someone leaves, that means one lane is free, or the jungle is free, or some space where someone can catch up, and it's just over. Like
it's a pure handicap. So yeah.
And so you have to spend the next X amount of time in frustration, and you know you're going to lose, and
And don't
so
get
it's
me
not
wrong,
any fun.
when you get into the game, when you learn the game, it is so fucking fun playing with your friends. Even when you're losing, you're talking shit. But like you'll be like, oh man, they'll be like you guys are like, hey, I just played God of War, this great epic story, and you would have been like, hey Eddie, what'd you do? I was like, oh, I played 4 games of League of Legends, like because that was 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like,
That was
it's
my
like-
whole day. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like and you're like, man, this
So on to Fortnite, huh?
So yeah, onto Fortnite, and it's like less time punishing, but the learning curve is way the mechanical is way harder compared
On
to
Fortnite?
like, yes, because the game. So
Get the hell out.
I'm very serious.
No, seriously, bro.
the game
Have you played
mechanics
it?
is very
It's difficult.
yeah,
so-
I played it.
yeah, but it's
You
very
have to
different.
build
So
Call of
you're-
Duty with building.
well, exactly. But the thing is, as a normal reaction, you played Halo, right? You played a few shooting games.
Yeah.
So everyone who's played shooting games, what is your first reaction the moment you see something? You spray. There's no such thing as here. Let me build a wall real quick, and let me build this castle, and then now we'll shoot it out. Like, and then pretty much what happens the moment you see the opponent, you miss your first shot. Now there's walls and there's buildings going around, and it's cool. That's the hardest part because anybody who plays
That's a lot
shooting
of cover.
games, you have to like the first reaction is the moment you get shot, you have to build. But in games like Call of Duty, your first reaction is they shoot, you turn, you shoot. That's it. There's no, and then you hopefully you get the best shot.
So
but
it's Call of Duty with building.
with building, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like I heard
third
that
person,
somewhere.
third person shooting though.
But anyway, so back to the whole Evo.
So which is harder for you, the shooting or the building?
the building
It's the
is harder.
combination.
The building
Because
is
it's-
harder.
You have to do
It's
You
both.
still
switching
have to
between
shoot.
the both.
Yeah, you have to switch between
Build and
like there's
shoot.
2 different modes. There's build mode and then pulling out your weapon. So you have to be like you have to
go
switch,
between the
flip
two.
between them pretty quickly. I don't think it's mechanically harder than a MOBA though.
It is
Like there's like when you first start playing League of Legends, like if you don't have
You have to
anyone with
master
you, you
every
have to
skill
like
on your
literally
character,
have
basically.
to, and you have to learn. You have to
Well,
learn spacing. You have to learn.
well, yeah, league
creeps
mechanical
and-
upkeep is higher. I understand that, but like as far as like the learning curve for Fortnite, it seems a lot simpler. But I feel like as time goes by, like I feel like it's definitely harder to maintain. Like, but anyway, like off
Yeah.
a tangent.
So, how about Evo? You know,
Evo. Oh, okay, so okay, you go first, Eddie.
Evo was awesome. They had. I actually think the cool. I mean, other than the interview with Justin Wong, which fangirl, there was like like I didn't know, like I've never, this is my, actually, even though we live in Vegas, this is my first Evo I've ever gone to, where
All of our
actually
first
there.
Evos, right?
Yeah. And they just had like, I mean, they have the typical like vendors and stuff that are selling things, but they had games that aren't out yet, like fighting games that aren't out
the
yet.
development
That's so fucking
area,
cool.
that was
The
so
indie
good.
games that like with like the little 2D sprites, and there was like a not a well, kind of like a Final Fight game that was down there. I don't even remember what it's called, but it seemed really fucking cool. I wish the first day I had brought controllers, because it seemed like more stuff was available. Because it feels like the first day, all the 1,200 people were whittled down. Still came back the second day just to play on all the PlayStations, because
Yeah,
we
exactly.
couldn't find room to
Saturday
play
was way
anyone.
busier than Friday.
Yeah, it was crazy. But like seeing the games up there, that was fucking cool. Seeing like literally Daigo walked right by us.
A couple of times.
Yeah,
Yeah, one of the top
And-
players in the world.
yeah,
He's
he's
one of the top.
retired in quotations, but he still almost made it to top 8, like casually. Like
How do you retire? Do you retire from a game, or
I
just
don't,
retire from?
I
Like,
don't know,
competing at
because
all?
he was like,
Oh,
it
sorry.
was a couple years ago. He's just like, well, they because everyone has their characters, right? He's known for playing Ryu. Like, he's always played Ryu. And in like season 2, they really nerfed him. He's like, I'm gonna play a Guile, and then he was like, Infiltration won Evo that year, and he's like, man, I'm retired. And I'm like,
I heard a lot of the
Okay.
pros were upset with Street Fighter V, and then it kind of, made it too vanilla, and like everybody could do the combos and
well, this
and
is
blocks.
this is
and-
the thing. This is the biggest argument about Street Fighter V is it's more accessible to newbies. There's a thing in all the other Street Fighters called one frame links. So when you have your stick, it's super easier to do on a stick, because basically it's called plinking. You tap the lower button after, right? So in Street Fighter 4, you do a combo that had like this weird one frame link where you had to tap that button to continue a combo for it to register, I should say, because you'll see the little they have challenges in Street Fighter. You've been trying to do the Street Fighter 5 ones, where you'll just see a list of combos, and you're like, to get one of those moves to connect, you'll have to hit a one frame link.
It's a very
Bam.
specific
It's like
timing.
a very
right?
yeah. That's why it's called a plink, because you're literally just tapping
One to
that
the other.
button
right?
after.
You have like
And
one
so-
frame to get to the other combo.
And
So
and
it's much harder
so it's
to
much harder
to
to
do
do
than the new
and
one, right?
And that's just like one of the small things that they complain about.
Right.
They think that the neutral game doesn't exist in Street Fighter V. Neutral game is before any actions actually taking place. So people are you'll still see it in any fighting game. You'll see the two people standing there, and they kind of approach each other and they throw buttons. It looks like they're randomly pushing a button. What they're actually doing is measuring distance and checking the other person to make sure they're not walking into that button or pressing a button too late and getting hit. If they catch someone, they can cancel into a special move and stuff like that. So they don't think that the neutral game is as
So they took that out.
it's not really out. It's just it's not
It's not as useful.
it's not what they think it is or what they want it to be. But I mean, like some people on the Reddit page, this is where like the most hardcore of Street Fighter fans and players go to complain about shit, right? And so other than Twitter, trying to talk to the people that aren't going to listen to them when they're being as vulgar as they do sometimes. They complain about like it's not as interesting, like combos aren't as interesting. But like if you watch, like for me, Street Fighter V, someone who doesn't know what's going on can watch it and see this kick-ass combo, 10-hit combo, and you know what's happening. And when you want, like, they'll link a video to Street Fighter 4 or Ultra Street Fighter 4, and they're like, look at this match. And I watched the Evos for Street Fighter 4, even though I wasn't, like, as into the game.
So you know
And
what's
it's, like,
going
literally the same, like, because don't get me wrong, it's like any esport or any other thing. They find the most efficient thing, and that's what they will use repeatedly. So what I mean by that is you
on.
get...
Find the broken character.
Or they find
the teleport.
the combo,
Right.
right? They'll find the one combo that does max damage
And
as
they'll
a punish,
spam it.
and that's anytime anything connects, it goes into that combo for maximum damage. So you can watch this match that everyone's like, this is one of those pinnacle Street Fighter 4, and they're both
just looks
they're
like
just
cheese.
doing the same thing back and forth it went tense. It was tense. It went down to the fifth match.
They're all looking for openings. That's all.
Yeah, and I'm just like, this is boring to me compared to Street Fighter V, because another thing they don't like is how much damage they do in Street Fighter V. It's a high, like
quicker matches.
faster matches, but like because of that, the comeback is there. Like I've seen Bisons come back from a sliver of life in a tournament and completely turn the game around.
I did
and
notice
win.
that on a lot, even with Dragon Ball. Like it seemed like
Yes,
they had like
last minute battles.
25 combo one way and then 25 combo the other way.
Yeah,
and
that
then
well,
they were just kind of back and
those
forth.
ones. The Dragon Ball Fighter game is closer to like Marvel versus Capcom.
Yeah,
So it's a lot of aerial combos, like
team
under-
combat too.
yeah,
You got
yeah,
more than one
jumping
character
with
jumping in and out.
assists, and so those games like combo numbers go way up, right? And so, and it's all about catching people in the air, and it's
Definitely. I noticed that with Blaze Blue. Like the comboing system there is ridiculous. I noticed that I was watching the battling yesterday, right? And it's a 2v2.
yeah, it's called Blaze Blue Tag Battle.
Okay. So it's a 2v2. And the thing was the player, he lost his first player, right? And then it was like 2 against 1. His second character, the bar came down halfway, and as soon as he busted out his combo, the life starts going back up so quick. I was like, "Oh my god, he's making a comeback!" He literally is making a comeback, and you see the crowd just go ape shit.
Yeah.
I thought that was nuts.
That's one of the things I love about the fighting game community. They're like you can always hear like the live crowd going crazy because they're like, to me, they're the closest to actual like sports fans. Like no, really, like I mean, before they called it like fighting game community doesn't like to be called esports. Don't it? I mean, because they've been around before that term was even a thing, and so they don't like it for whatever
Fighting game
reason,
community
you know?
instead, right?
Yeah, the
Well, it used to be
FGC.
originally called Battle of the Bay, and that was like a big thing because they didn't know how to like let's say
How to
like
label.
how Evo started. There's a whole documentary on esports at Yahoo. They made a documentary about it and how Evo started, but it was called Battle of the Bay, which is like the only way you knew who was good was you were on vacation.
Right, you were there.
You were there in LA and said, "Hey, I'm like you come here to Vegas. You're on vacation, and you're like, hey, I'll go check out this arcade place." And it turns out you just whooped a bunch of people, and now you're like the talk of the town because hey, this guy came from Oregon.
Well, that's
and
what
just came-
Justin Wong did, right? Basically, and that's how everybody knew his name now.
yeah, and then pretty much, and then some guy organized Battle of the Bay and said, "Hey, we're gonna get this city, and then apparently, Kuwait came and competed."
Whoa, that's
So
dope.
that's how like things really exploded, and people were like, "Whoa, that was a big deal." But thanks to the internet and today's DLC, like downloadable content and patch updates, it made Evo like new scale.
Take off.
Yeah. But my biggest thing was I want to know your reaction, Gagne. Like watching, I'm serious.
As
It's like
the
it's
least gamer of the group.
well, it's interesting to me because it's to me
because
like
you're first pair of eyes.
Yeah.
because like when I talk to people like whether it's work or outside who's not familiar with esports, they go the first thing is I don't understand. What do you mean people watch people play video games? Like I don't get it. I don't get how you make money. Like and I'm like it's just like a sport, and they go I don't get it. So
Yeah, I mean, it's not a hard concept to grasp. I was entertained. I mean, I think anybody who's ever lived a childhood has played a fighting game. You know, even my wife, who doesn't game at all, she games a little bit, but she has played fighting games. Like someone played Tekken, someone played Mortal Kombat, somebody Street Fighter. Everyone has played those, and I'm a button masher. I don't care, but it's still entertaining to me. Like we went back last night and played Injustice because I got to see people playing Injustice and fighting each other, and it's just fun. I mean, it's just engaging in something that entertains you. It doesn't have to be something you need to understand. It's not complex. It's playing video games.
Sorry for being cheap last night against you with Deadshot.
I couldn't
sorry.
get close. You just kept shooting.
There you go.
It's like,
Cheese
I'm
out the long range.
It's all right. I held my own. I didn't get
His character was too strong,
dominated.
bro. So I had to shoot Gagne from a far distance because he was Swamp Thing. He was
Swamp
whooping
Thing.
me. I was like, shit.
But it was well organized. You can see it has room for growth, and I feel like why not? I mean, what's the worst thing that's happening? People are cheering for people playing a silly fighting game. Like, and sorry if I said silly, and it's not silly to people,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's
fun.
It just so many times people who say that, and it frustrates even me, who's not this like super fan. I didn't know who Daigo was until you told me.
Of course.
I can still enjoy it. I can still have fun at this. There are
Mm-hmm.
still things that I recognize, and I was having a great time exploring. And so, I would say it's worth checking out. I mean, you don't need to be super into it or super knowledgeable. Just go have fun and watch people get excited about this stuff.
Yeah, the crowds were very cool. Like, and some of the final matches of Blaze Blue, like the whole crowd had the little balloon things,
and they're clapping them together.
Clapping them, and they're insane.
The togetherness. I mean, we have enough divide constantly every day. Like, to see everybody just kind of together and enjoying this stuff was a blast.
It was a great community for sure. Like, my first time being there with the whole group, and I had a lot of fun being there with you guys, especially because we're all gamers. We talk about games all the time. The coolest part I saw for me personally was they're still playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Like, I was in shock.
They had all those
because that
too.
game has never been updated for how long now? It still the same mechanics, but the players that were using cable use it to its fullest. So that's why I was near boring over. Sorry about that.
I liked there were people that had carts to bring in their CRT TVs because they're so heavy.
Yes.
Right? So they're like, I got to bring this to a casino.
That's a dedication of a true gamer,
For
dude.
sure. They still have that TV for one. They still have the system
no joke.
for two. I saw a guy on a Neo Geo. I was
Dude,
like, what the fuck?
Flex and Eddie, early in the morning, I saw 4 different guys hauling 4 different old school TVs just to hook it up. I'm like, you're a true fan. I'm proud of you.
The people walking in with their custom controllers. I saw people almost like protecting it like it's an IP.
Yes.
Like they had it under
Like it was
their
like,
jacket, or
wrapped
if you
super
looked
tight
at
on
it,
their
they
chest.
made eye contact with you. Like why are you watching me? Like I've got some special mod on mine that you don't have and you can't see it. And I was like, whoa. Like, it was a blast. I mean, to get to dive into some games, and if you want to talk about Hamsterdam, I mean, like to watch a developer, tell you about their game.
So I think that's definitely, I didn't know that was a thing, having a developer's booth. So developer booth is usually people coming up with a game concept, or they want to beta test it out to the audience out there. So even though Hamsterdam was the game that I had a chance to try, and the guy was really good. I mean, he had a really good pitch. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
He's very passionate. Like the way he explained everything, you can tell that's his baby.
Compared to everybody else, what's it called? Everybody else had very generic like fighting games. They're trying to introduce like a different, like a different version of Blaze Blue or Street Fighter. But this guy was just I feel like it was more kid friendly based. It could definitely be a comedy.
Yeah, this one was more for an app development, but they were moving on to the Switch. So it was like Fruit Ninja, where you swipe and try and like fight things.
Oh, yeah, you tap.
Yeah, tap.
Yeah.
And you can tap and stuff. But it was just clever, and he was very entertaining, had a good pitch, good presence to him, and he was the only one trying to sell his game, really.
Yeah.
There was a couple of long, booths as a pretty big area for indie games, indie game development. And like you said, a lot of them were just kind of playing, and nobody was really there to talk about them.
Correct. Yeah.
So but this guy, he was really cool.
It was really good. I definitely could see it really taking off. I saw what he was seeing too, that his art was lacking, his graphics were lacking, and he was trying to he's definitely looking for somebody to.
Yeah, he said he's gonna put it on Kickstarter. And
Kickstarter. So
get the next step going on it.
Yeah, definitely. So definitely enjoyed that. Most out of all the other indie games, I felt like it's very generic. It was not. It was like they were trying to be the next racing game, the next battle arena game, the next but it was not. It didn't have.
They weren't polished.
No, it's not just the fact they were polished. Their pitch wasn't. They weren't giving anything different, like Dead or Alive, Street Fighter. All these games might be fighting games, but they have one unique element that makes them stand out. Beside and Tekken, they have a really strong, unique elements to make sure that their game is still
something's unique about it.
Correct. It's like you have to have somebody there to tell the story. You know what I mean? Like we all enjoy those games because you know the characters and you kind of know some backstory on them. And so just be a developer who drops off a game. And it's like, well, we played one and I didn't even know what the name of it was because
they weren't there. They weren't there to tell us what's going on.
I was having fun, but tell me who this character is or tell me what the concept.
Did you know what the name of the game was? No, because there was no signage.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's the thing is I want to see that grow. I want to see more developers show up and pitch your games, because I'll play something like Hamsterdam just because somebody told me a backstory. I got to talk to somebody about it. I feel engaged in it, and I'm gonna go check it out now.
I could definitely see you showing your kids, be like, hey, try out this little game.
Yeah. It's a good little time waster, app game. Yeah.
So
what'd you like, Flex?
No, I'm right there with you guys about the Amsterdam developer. No, he just sold it like a commercial. Like, honestly, I think we could use that footage for him, honestly, to sell his game, because yeah, he had so much passion behind it, and like you said, it's kind of nice to have somebody walk you through, like, not just the mechanics of the game, like this is how it works, but the lore and story, and everything behind it. That's really cool. But overall, the convention, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Like you said, it was just a cool community. I felt like I was kind of at an arcade again, just watching people play, and like there's that
So
level of
good.
excitement. Like, you can walk in and think, oh, this is kind of silly, everybody's just playing games, but then you just start watching everybody get into it, and like, again, it just reminds me of being a kid and watching people just play the character that I know so much better than me, and it makes me want to go and play it, and it's exciting. Yeah, it really is, like, I guess the closest thing you could call to like a sports environment, with video games and whatnot. But overall, like I said, I had a really good time. It made me want to go, actually participate. I think we're doing it, right?
Yep,
Okay,
next year
Eddie's
I'm
my
signing
coach.
up.
He's gonna teach me how to
For
not
which
suck
one?
at Street Fighter.
Street
Street
Fighter.
Fighter 5 for sure.
Anybody
Yeah.
else want to get on Smash Brothers Melee?
I
Right.
know
Why
how
not?
to play. I know how to
Gonna buy me
play
a Switch.
Right.
Or Super
yeah.
Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Yeah, the
Dude,
Ultimate
that
was
line's
the new one.
ridiculous, right? On both sides, there's two lines
So
and never let up.
So there was a brand new game, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. They were
Which was
premiering there.
Just
They
a
had,
rehash.
like Sam said, lines.
It's just
Yeah.
a re-release of the one that was on the Wii U, because no one, like, the Wii U sold like 10 million copies, which is probably less or close to the amount that the PlayStation handheld sold,
Right.
which is
They didn't
not
do well.
good.
But for the Switch
That's-
now,
But
they're
Switch
hoping
is
it's
like,
gonna sell
it's
that
going to
one.
sell a lot by the time.
But this one had, the whole roster of characters. You had to wait in line to play a little one-on-one
Well,
tournaments.
whole
on it.
roster so far. Because remember the guy said there's
did say
4
there's
more
gonna be some-
in
some
November,
DLCs, right?
October.
There's gonna be
they'll
But there was
more
like
characters.
40 characters or something.
Pretty
on
much
the-
every character
Oh,
that's
yeah.
ever been in a
60,
Smash Brothers
yeah,
game.
60 characters.
yeah,
But
so-
no Waluigi.
There's going to be a Goomba.
Who cares? Who likes
Eventually, they're
Waluigi?
going to run out of other characters to use. They're going to have to use Goombas.
But see, this is what I like about the new, like, the new content. They could add on characters. Next thing
Well,
you know,
I mean, they did with like Solid Snake
Yeah.
and Bayonetta
And Final Fantasy.
yeah, Cloud, and
Yeah.
so
That's what I was gonna say. If you're somehow listening to this in time, all the fighting games that are at Evo right now on PSN are like half off or more. The season passes for one and 2 for Street Fighter.
that
like
might be over
5.
by Tuesday.
It might be, but it might still be going. It
Sure,
might be the
like
last
noon,
day. So
maybe.
Check
depending what
check
part
the
of
game
country.
sales.
just
It
check.
might be up.
Like,
Yeah.
But-
One question that I was when we were there at the tournament and whatnot. Like we noticed that you could literally just plug it and play. Like they weren't checking
Oh, yeah.
controls or anything like that.
No.
So I mean, no, as far as like rules and regulations go, there's absolutely like no, like advantage to using certain controls. I mean, I just find it crazy that there's not really like a
No.
regulation standard
yeah, it
as
is
far
right.
as to what controls you're using.
The
when it
only
comes to
thing
the
you can't
competition.
do is you can't pause, and you can't accidentally hit the PlayStation button. You get disqualified. You lose
Oh,
a
for
match.
real?
yeah. So yeah, those are.
You're interrupting.
And then
I
if you
slip all the time.
if you unplug the controller,
unplug
it's
your controller.
automatically lost. Auto
Yeah.
loss.
Wow.
Yeah, it's auto DQ.
So
You
yeah,
don't-
like what are some of the rules? Because
Is that,
I
is that what happened with Kevin's match? He said he won.
I mean, yeah,
he won by
sure.
disqualification somehow. He said.
Oh yeah.
I was
Yeah,
watching
so
this. I
one
was
of
watching this
those
video from a few years ago of Daigo playing like one of the finals, and like his control like unsynced from the console, and like there was this big uproar like what happens now, like
Right.
and they just kind of sort of let them continue, I guess.
that,
but
that
like
might be it. That
was like a
that,
final
that
match or
wasn't
something.
his. Like if it wasn't his fault, like you know what I mean. Like there's like because the sticks, the buttons are usually for like the PlayStation button or the Xbox button are on the top. So for you to like you'd be like tap like your hand would have to slip that far, or you'd have to be like lifting your stick to hit that button. But if you're using your pad, like I would have been doing, right? You accidentally hit that button, that's when you get DQ'd because you're basically pausing it, right? So you can't pause.
You're
a fighting
interrupting
game.
the flow.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, there's cases where you're so excited. Sometimes you win best out of five. You might have won your second round, and then you got up and you just snagged the controller with you. It happens. It literally happens. These things happen, and
And you're done.
you're done pretty much. Like because it's
Or
on your
you
lap.
lose,
The
like,
controller's
so-
on your lap, so you're pressing. Yeah, it's on your lap, so you might get excited. You just beat and you did your best combo, and of course you pulled the whole thing with you to excite.
2 out of 3, right?
Gotta learn,
2 out of
rookies.
3 is you gotta win 2 matches out of 3.
Yeah.
And you just give up a match because you got excited. So
And so we don't know what the prize pool is yet for the finals, do we?
no, not yet.
So how do
But
they
I would
usually
assume each game
determine
is different.
like
So
It's they have the certain amount that they get throughout the year, but they also they sell these the Capcom Pro Tour packs that all goes towards
Prize pools.
prize pool stuff, and so
could
yeah,
be-
we'll
yeah.
find out.
It could be
basically.
from like just us playing the game, downloadable content, sponsorships, like who they get, and then
Yeah.
just
Cup of noodles.
One of the maps that I noticed,
Red
or one of
Bull.
the stages that they're playing on at Evo, was this $10 map that he can just spend, just for the one map. But I guess all his proceeds go towards the final pool.
Correct.
So that's crazy, and I kind of want it. It looks really nice.
It's an awesome map. 2016, the prize pool was $100,000 for just Street Fighter. The year after, last year, was 75,000. So this year, I don't know, but like smaller games, the guy Justin Wong won. Oh god, what Fighting EX Layer? It's like a $3,000, yeah, for first place. So I mean, it's different depending on the game.
And that's a
how
game that just
big-
came out.
Yeah. That game's only been out for a couple months, I believe.
But see, when you have pro players like that supporting those kind of games, then the game has an opportunity
Never.
to blow up because it means that they see something unique. That's how games.
Speaking of Justin Wong, who we got to interview, why don't you tell us a little bit about him, Eddie, and lead into that? We'll go ahead and play. that
Okay,
interview.
yeah. Well, he's been gaming for a long time, and in the fighting game community, and big fan of his. He's won some big moments. He's actually, his original game wasn't Street Fighter. I believe it was Marvel vs. Capcom. That
Yes,
was where his main focus was, and then he came into Street Fighter. He's forever immortalized in a little video called Evo Moment 37, where he is about to win against Daigo. And there's a crazy parry moment. If you ever have a chance, it's like a 30-second video. You can see what we're talking about the crowd going crazy over these.
Yeah.
It's basically a crazy moment. Everyone remembers that Evo for Daigo doing that and turning it around and winning, but Daigo loses like his next match.
But the funny thing was that was actually a final losers bracket. They were both in the loser bracket.
Yeah, so
and it was the
that's
finals
Like the
for
top
the
two
losers.
guys.
Yeah.
Right.
But they were trying to make their
They're
way
trying to
the
get
final.
back to the grand finals.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's 15 years, I believe, is how long he's been in the fighting game community, and it was just really dope that we got to meet him. And
He was very humble, nice guy.
very humble.
Yeah, it looked like he'd been doing interviews for fucking
Oh, yeah.
all day long.
Yeah.
So he was just natural at it. So.
Yeah, it was cool. I was super happy that he was as chill as he seems like on Twitch and stuff.
For sure. Cool. Yeah, let's roll into that interview real quick. It's not too long.
Hey guys, NOFA show here at Evo 2018. We're here with Justin Wong.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good. How are you, man?
Pretty good, pretty good.
So you got out of pools today, right?
Yeah, I'm a little tired. I was here since 8 a.m.
Yeah, I saw
you know.
that. Why were pools so early this?
I was born with 8 a.m. pools. You know what I mean? Every year I always get 8 a.m. pools.
so early. I fell asleep. I saw a few matches and then I passed out. And I was like,
Yeah.
this is too early for me.
Yeah, other than that, I've just been here all day, just like interviewing, working, photo shoots, stuff like that.
Yeah, doing work.
Yeah, doing work.
For Echo Fox, right?
Yeah, Echo
Just-
Fox.
Just when did that company start again?
Echo. To be honest, I don't know when the actual company started, but I was signed last year by them, and I was been Echo Fox since then. So this is my second year on Echo Fox. It's been amazing. They're really cool. So many players, so many talents, awesome staff. Rick Fox. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like that's just the guy right
Yeah,
there, man.
You guys basically have a dream team going.
Yeah,
right now. You
yeah,
got Taquito and
Sonic Fox, Punk,
Punk.
Momochi, like Scar, Theo, like everyone's there.
everyone who's anyone in the fighting game community, basically.
Yeah,
You guys are picking them up. And it's,
100%.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And for people who might not know, how long have you been in the fighting game community?
Man, I've been here since I was 15 years old.
15.
I'm 32 right now. So, that's already 17 years in the making.
Yeah. And you're like the Magic Johnson to Daigo's Michael Jordan.
Does that
some
mean,
would say.
I guess that means I'm old,
That means
right?
you're
Magic
old.
Johnson's
Hey,
pretty
You're
old.
not old, because if you're old, then I'm old.
I
because
mean-
I'm 32.
I'm old, man. You just call me Magic Johnson, so I'm pretty old.
So this year you kind of changed your style to Manette.
Yeah.
One of the newer characters. Do you feel like she's really strong in the tiers?
So I do think she's very cheap. She's definitely top 5, very broken. One of those characters that's really hard to fight. But it's just, I went back to my old route where I'm very defensive, want to be lame, want to turtle,
Yeah.
put people to sleep. That's my job right now.
Yeah, I saw some of your Falcon games. And
Yeah.
It was like you were picking your battles. So to
Yeah,
speak.
yeah, for sure.
A lot of
Falk
people-
is awesome. She's also a lame character, but Minaj just she takes it to the next level.
Yeah. And before that, you were playing Karen, right?
Karen, yeah, I used to play her, and then they just kind of killed her in season 3.
Yeah.
And then it's one of those things that everyone kept switching. So I'm like, you know what? I want to be different too as well.
I've been watching a lot of the tournaments recently, and I'm just enjoying. I'm enjoying this season, not as much as 2.5, but I'm really digging the difference in the character picks.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of there's every year, every season is like different characters, different tiers, different strategies. So it's just pretty cool because it's really like one of the other games like League of Legends where they change like the champions, they change it up where this new champion's gonna be top tier, new champion's gonna be used. So same thing for Street Fighter 5 right now.
Yeah. One little frame change in a move can move someone up and down a tier.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
It's super exciting. Do you have any secrets that you can share? Any strategies? Any pocket characters you're
I'm only picking Manat probably the whole time. Maybe a Karen here or there, maybe a Falk here and there, but Manat is the main squeeze.
Yeah. Well, is there anything that you have coming up after this? Even though this is like the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
of
Super
games?
Bowl. I mean, there's the HyperX Showdown on Tuesday, where like we have the Smash players and the Street Fighter players come together just to do wacky challenges, like the Jenga match that people probably saw last year. There's a body count fighting exhibition in LA on Saturday that I'll be attending. I'll be fighting Punk there.
Oh, okay.
And there's just Capcom Pro Tour throughout the whole year. You know, I'll be in Hong Kong at the end of the month.
Oh yeah.
For their premiere tournament, and the grind doesn't stop.
Okay. So before we go, we have like we're kind of like into all kinds of nerdy stuff. So
Yeah.
is there any movies you've seen lately that you would recommend to anyone?
So I just saw Ant-Man the Wasp, Part 2, and I thought that was very good. I actually didn't see the Ant-Man 1, but then watching Ant-Man 1 like before I watched Ant-Man 2, I thought Ant-Man 1 was amazing.
Yeah.
So I had to watch Ant-Man 2. Like the character Luis, he's the best character ever. I love him. I definitely just watched that movie just to see him act in that movie.
Right.
So I thought that movie was pretty good. The ending, amazing. So you guys gotta watch that for sure.
How about any anime that you're addicted to recently?
So I watch a lot of anime. People know that.
Yeah.
But before I came back from London like 3 weeks ago, and I said to myself, all right, I'm not gonna watch anime until Evo is done. So I'm actually backed up for like at least 3 weeks worth of anime.
Okay.
But I mean, you know, obviously you got the Boku no Heroes here and there, right?
Tell these guys to watch My Hero Academia.
Yo, My Hero Academia is like one of the best animes of all time. 100%. You will get the feels. You will cry. The character development is so amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I love that anime. Is there any classics that you would also recommend? Because a lot
Classics?
of the people on the
Okay.
podcast are like rookies.
Yeah, right. I mean, obviously you have the classic Dragon Ball, right?
That's the one thing
Classic.
they've all seen.
To be honest, a classic that maybe it's popular but not like mainstream like Dragon Ball. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Don't watch Full Metal Alchemist. That is fraudulent. Watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That's the one you need to watch.
Yep, that's the one. Next up during this tournament, what do you think? What are your goals? I mean, obviously winning is the one, but like,
Well, I think obviously everyone's main goal is to win.
yeah,
But my first goal is to get top 8 first.
top 8.
Get top 8, play it Sunday. That's the goal because I want to really. I've been practicing really hard, so I really hope that I can make top 8 this year.
So, do you think that Tokido is like one of the top people that is going to be in the top 8 for sure, most likely?
I feel like there's no for sure because right now, when you look at the upsets, NL's in losers right now. Knuckle Dude's in losers. Sako's in losers. Punk just lost. He's in losers. So a lot of killers are already in losers. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those tournaments, and it's also one of these games that it's very hard to be consistent in. So, like literally, my whole goal is to make top 8. And, you know, I can't really sleep on anybody. You got to play 100% at your fullest.
At every game.
Every game.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for
Yeah, no
taking
problem,
the time.
man. Anytime.
Guys, I'm also not worthy to be in your presence.
No, don't
I'm
worry.
only,
No, don't say that.
Super silver.
Yeah.
So,
No,
but yeah, thanks a lot, man.
no problem,
It's
man. No problem.
awesome. Hey, NOFA Show, come listen to us. Check out Evo. Watch him win because he's gonna win. It's Justin Wong.
I will try.
Okay, cool. So
was
yeah,
a fa-
real quick, I just wanted to thank Justin Wong again. Do you have any information as to where we can find him as like Instagram or anything like
Yeah,
that?
J Wong, JWONGGG. I think he has like multiple G's in his name, but if you put in JWONG,
Yeah,
he'll
it'll
pop
pop
up.
So yeah, just wanted to thank him again for his time.
Yeah, he was
So,
awesome.
Yeah, one of my highlights at Evo was getting to interview like an actual celebrity of the
Yeah.
of that community. So
Like I said, Daigo walked by us a couple times.
Right.
Shorter than I thought he would be. But that's okay. That's not a big deal.
Literally.
And the dad jokes continue.
Yeah, that was super dumb.
No, that was a good one. That tickled me. But I also got to meet one of the guys who's still in top 8 today. Is Mr. Problem X. I got a picture with him and Punk, who was in grand finals last year. Punk got knocked out of pools on the first day to an unknown
really,
Alex, I believe.
so like all the big names are out, right?
Yes, except for previous champion, last year's champion, who's probably going to win.
who's
But I
got
really
the-
want Mr. Problem X to win because he's the only pro player who uses M. Bison, and I want him to stick it to the people who don't even put him in like the top 10 on the
Who's A that
character
he
list,
sucks?
on tier lists.
That's our pony that we've.
That's the one I'm
picked for
going.
tonight.
Once Justin Wong was gone,
Yeah.
I mean I love Tokido, but I mean I've already seen him come from the losers bracket all the way up and win last year.
Been there,
So,
done that.
Yeah.
Next.
I mean, he is probably of the people that are still in the tournament. He's probably
got
the
odds.
best.
Some fun stuff at the bar fight. My friends went, and apparently,
And what, the after party?
the after party. I mean, all the gamers were there, and apparently there's a pro breakdancer apparently at the event too. Yeah, I didn't even know until like he took a picture. Tall guy, but anyway, Japanese guy went there to like support the event, and a lot of them are gamers. So, and apparently there's people breakdancing at the after party. So I was like, all right, that's new. That's
It was a
new.
good time, man.
I saw some photos from it. It looked like it was a fun thing to.
I noticed
Check
that at the convention center there was like a total lack of security. Like they weren't really worried about nerds doing anything. Like we
Other
walked
than
straight
going
in
through
with
the
a bag
entrance.
of equipment. And they didn't check any of that.
Nothing.
Like there was no security inside at all that I saw besides at the entrance.
I'm surprised. Didn't expect
Well,
that much
that's for
cosplay either.
yesterday.
Not
but
much cosplay either. Yeah, I was surprised.
But today they beef up security a little bit.
for the final event.
Yeah, 'cause I got a friend who's working at Manly Bay, and they texted me if I was going to come by today because they're doing security. They're doing perimeter control.
Sure.
So today's beefed up just a little bit because it's the finals. But come on,
Yeah.
we're harmless.
Dude, they didn't check anything. That like we literally walked in with like 2-3 bags worth of stuff, and they're like, "No, you go wait, throw that Gatorade out." It's like, I swear, you're like, really, you don't want to check
Dude,
anything
I saw
else?
you get stopped with that drink. I'm like, but he bought it here.
I know, yeah.
And she still made you throw it out.
Saturday, yeah, we
So
were there,
mean.
and we got some drinks inside, and they had a bar, which is expensive.
$7 Red Bulls.
Thank you, Jose. But yeah, so we go out to the front area, just past the security entrance, just to kind of check out some of the merch that they got up there. And like, I'm not even 20 feet from where I walked out
Yes,
from. And then I
yes.
turn back around, and security's like, "You got to throw that drink out." I'm like, "I literally bought this in here. I didn't leave. So you got to throw it out anyways." I'm like, whatever.
I walked
Like,
out
all right,
when he
dude.
went to the restroom that one time. I took 2 steps. I didn't know I was going because I'm just walking around the convention. I take 2 steps past a sign that's like this big, about like 8 inches, and it's apparently it's at the exit. Same fucking area that the entrance is in, right? I take 2 steps back and I go, oh,
That's
I
not
go to
right.
take back. I go to back, and she's like, no, you gotta leave. I was like, I have a badge. She's like, yeah, this is exit. I'm like, but.
You're like,
I'm like, right, I took 2 steps. It's like right there. She's like, no, you got. I'm like,
Hey,
oh,
that,
okay.
they were very
Follow the
seri-
rules.
They were very
You follow
serious
the
about their
rules.
one job. All right.
You can carry in bombs, but you can't go back in the exit.
This is the exit. This is the entrance.
There's a line right here.
Separated by 6 feet, and
A curtain.
You can't go. You have to go back.
An extension.
You got to follow the rules, the extensions, bro.
I got a shout out from the security guard for even looking at the sign. He was like, "That's right." Give me a high five, and he was like, "I saw you reading the sign." I was like, "Oh, thanks, man."
Wow. It's
Yeah.
because he probably told the last 30 people
Yeah.
to go around, right?
No,
So-
actually he did.
Yeah.
Because while waiting for you, Adam, I saw the poor guy. He's like, "This is an exit. Exit over there, over there." Like he keeps pointing.
Yeah,
at the
nobody's
poor
listening.
guy. No one's listening.
Once people start following people in a crowd,
Oh,
Oh,
it's-
it was
it's-
horrible. It was horrible. And the funniest part was, they literally won't let you in until you put the lanyard on and you flip the badge around correctly.
oh yeah.
Because if you didn't show your badge correctly,
Oh
they
my
make you
God.
reflip it.
What I used to
You
love
know
was
what that is, though, right? I'm just bored security guard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, definitely.
totally.
They're just trying to earn their keep. I respect
I
that.
like
That's
it.
fine. Make your money.
Hey, that's their job, man. One job. You got one job. Turn the badge around,
What
motherfucker.
if you had another lanyard that looked very similar?
Right.
We can't have that. We can't have that.
Is this how you talk to people you're escorting?
Yes.
It's your security voice.
It's your security voice. Oh, shit.
There was a game, I can't remember for the life of me what it was called, but it was like a darker, like Frankenstein,
Yes.
vampire,
It was like
werewolf, Omen of
something.
Oh yeah, it was Omen.
Omen of something,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
was
something.
it Sorrow of Omen or Omen of
Sorrow?
Sorrow
Yeah.
sounds familiar. Yeah. It was like
That looked good.
there's like one person there that worked on the game, and then like I was like, the game looked pretty awesome.
I don't think you were there the first day. We actually went to that booth, and the guy was working on. They partnered with somebody that game, and he was working on a different monitor, and it was showing the two
frame
guys
rate.
that were playing. Yeah, and it was showing their hitboxes live as they're moving, and it was showing all the inputs that they were doing on the controllers on the screen.
Oh, wow.
That's
It was really cool. Yeah,
You can do that.
So and he
in
was
Street
and he
Fighter.
was live streaming that on Twitch, so you
Yep.
could learn what these guys are doing as they're playing.
Well, I
see
think
that.
I
Oh,
think
wow.
they hired
That's
they hired
totally cool
the
stuff.
or they have pro guys come in to play it because I remember there's two smaller screens where two guys were playing, and then the big screen where everyone can see it. I thought that was really cool. Then have pro players come in and actually have the game be used at its full capacity,
Yeah.
which is definitely great to see
It was-
visually.
It was a really awesome game. Like I've never heard of it. I
Yeah, it was
I picked it up. It was like
smooth and
smooth. The animation,
cool.
the fucking vampire guy is already my favorite, just
Yeah.
because his walking back animation is he raises an eyebrow and puts his finger on his
Kinda
chin
floats
and he
away.
just stares at the screen as he's walking away. I'm like, oh, there's my guy.
Yeah, it had a. I believe it was PS4.
PS4, yeah.
Yeah,
For
it was
that.
a new
It's probably
game.
gonna be PC too.
Right.
That's weird.
Did we get confirmation on any of these coming out anytime soon?
As far as dates, I
Well,
don't
it's
think
all
so.
developing right now because if anything, Evo's like the grounds for you to test out your baby.
That game isn't coming out in October.
Oh,
They said
sure.
October.
Awesome.
nice.
Maybe
It
one
looked
we
pretty
all have to
polished.
Check out.
Yeah, it looked
play
really
against
good.
Each other.
Yeah,
That's pretty dope.
yeah, it had like a kind of a Killer Instinct vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Play as
totally.
werewolves and kind of like Frankenstein, so all that kind of old
Was
school
his name
monster
Adam?
feel.
Wasn't that
His name was
Frankenstein's name?
Adam,
Adam?
yeah. I was like, yeah, he's the
You got your
first.
First man.
He's the first man. Dr. Frankenstein's
Made
first
just
man.
for you.
However, I do want
Check
to
it
point out the hilarious part was that during the Evo convention was also the Black Hat convention for 2018, which took place kind of like in the same area, which is hilarious.
That's right.
Because some of the guys from Black Hat convention was trying to get into Evo, and they got kicked out in a heartbeat.
Yeah, if you don't know,
See,
Black
they
Hat
check
is
their fucking badges, man.
That's
They're
what I'm
like,
saying.
a bunch of
I'm-
hackers.
Dude,
basically.
I'm glad security did their job because if those guys went inside Evo, they would have had a fucking field day.
See, I've heard the thing about Black Hat. They actually come to town with challenges to actually hack our
Yes,
city and then like
yes.
actually post it up on social media. I was at work the other day and we're pretty sure we spotted one hack where the Eiffel Tower for the Paris, part of it was lit up as like an X and it just kept flashing on and off and like no other part of it was doing that. So we're assuming maybe that was Black Hat doing its thing. So
Oh, it's definitely Black Hat.
kinda cool.
Because
Yeah.
there are only cats in town where they come in, they rack up the hotel stay. When they check out, it's 0.
it's awesome. It's like criminal Easter egg hunting. Definitely awesome.
DEFCON.
yeah, for sure.
We
little
we
Street
support
Fighter.
you guys. Don't hack us. Don't hack us, Black Hat.
The cabinet.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Oh,
mention
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah,
that
the
out.
arcade one-up guys.
Yeah, they had kind of old school arcade cabinets, game specific, right?
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
those
guys
So
look
the ones
nice.
that I saw actually yesterday when we went by there, they had Rampage,
Street
Fighter,
Turbo.
but comes with Turbo Championship Edition and Hyper. It's
I think
three,
so.
it's
Three
of
Street Fighter
them.
games in one.
Yeah.
And I think
I saw
Galaga?
Asteroids.
Asteroids or Centipede was
the
it
Centipede.
I saw
Yeah,
Centipede.
Centipede was there.
and then the Asteroids I think, and then
They had some cool ones,
yeah,
and then I
there's-
think they were. He said they were $200.
the MSRP is
MSRP
$399.
$399.
And then he's like, Walmart and like all these places are gonna have pre-orders for $299, and I was just like, man, because they're 4 feet, they're 60. Was it 60 pounds or 20 pounds?
I don't remember how much they were.
They were light. I remember
They were
when I
light
was playing
because
you. I
when
kinda
we moved it, and I was like,
It's like,
oh
oh.
shit.
Oops.
That's nothing but board, like 2 boards, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it came with a little riser too, so put it
I
up
think
to
you can
like.
buy, I think you have to buy it
buy
separately.
it separate.
But it's like a 2-foot riser that'll put it to the original height of other arcade machines,
Right.
and it's awesome. I want one.
It was cool. I'd totally buy the Asteroids or Centipede. I actually have a Galaga one, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, my mom's never throwing that away ever. Keeping that.
Yeah, I mean, if it's one of those things like
It's
it's
legit.
just built that right size that you could put it in. You know, I guess
any kind of corner. It was actually pretty small.
Yeah. I'm gonna get one.
Right,
I
yeah,
wanna
it was
get
pretty
one.
cool.
Like, I was like, I want to get a Switch, but I was like, but
that
You could buy that.
$299 is the
You could buy
same
that whole
price.
cabinet for basically one of those customizable game pads.
Oh yeah, that's true. But
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
the
think it's
gamepad
awesome.
though.
That,
is
so
fucking
so they
awesome.
had
Custom
one
fight sticks.
They had one whole table. I think Sam kind of mentioned it earlier.
Yeah,
but,
we found 2 tables.
Yeah, a couple tables.
Of the custom fight sticks.
so they're like probably 2 foot by 1 foot
So, if
fight
you-
sticks, right? Like
for
the old
those who
arcades.
don't know, a normal fight stick will range from 150 to around 230. Just if you buy theirs, right? So there's like I think Hori is the top end of that, so it's like over $200. But you were saying that the box art
And it
itself
starts
just
at
starting
the base starts at $200.
$200. But I mean, you get to pick every piece, so that's like
so pretty.
you can probably pick the springs underneath the buttons, the
spring, the
joysticks.
joysticks.
The
control the
joysticks
buttons.
very important though. Like if you pick some
Like a
people play
stiffer
with
one
like
or
a
a
stiffer
looser
one
one,
or
yeah.
a looser one. The art, of course, that goes into the.
Bro.
This is like the Chipotle of like controller building. Like you stand in line, you pick
go-
your ingredients, and there you
everyone
go.
was like going up-
Except-
how much you would spend at Chipotle for your lifetime.
yeah.
But this one won't give you E. coli, so you'll be
That's
okay.
right.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Someone's eating their
Yeah.
food over the
Eating your
parts.
Chipotle over your fight stick.
Wow.
But yeah, it was I knew it would have been very irresponsible to get one,
Did
but I
you?
was still
Did you?
tempted.
Well, PlayStation I noticed had their own, and those
They
were
had some
pretty
customized
expensive.
ones
They were
there.
like $300.
They were- yeah, they were pretty
$400. Like I saw people carrying that box under their arm. I was
Right.
like, God.
Oh yeah, everyone was carrying their fight stick with their life, like you said. They were like
Definitely.
just their
People are
baby.
serious about
There was-
this. I mean,
there was
there's
one-
money to be made.
There was one day the first day I think some guy left his PlayStation at like the random plug and play table, and like he walked up and he went to pick it up, and we thought he was like jacking it, and then he was like he like gave it like a security hug, and we were like, dude, did you leave it there? And he's like, dude, I got back to my room and I realized I didn't have it.
Oh hell!
And I was like, dude, I would freak the fuck out.
That's probably why he hugged it. He was like, oh my God.
He's like, oh my god.
He's like, you're
He's pro-
still
you know,
here.
any other situation it probably would have been gone, but they probably thought it would belong to the convention.
For sure.
But I noticed the custom fight sticks too. A lot of them had that the carrying latch, which is kind of cool. It's a cool combo.
Well, a lot of people get like carrying bags.
Right.
You know, the best thing is when you see someone rage and throw their $250 stick on the ground and it bounces 4 feet in the air and is not gonna work anymore.
I didn't see anybody rage quit.
Nah,
I
it
was
doesn't
on the
happen
lookout.
a lot in like big tournaments, but like when you're in little tournaments and someone beats you with a cheesy character or something, they call it, whatever they want to call it. You just lose.
They low
but some
kick you to
people
death.
can't. I mean, I used to get mad, but I actually literally had to stop myself.
Chai.
No, I never have a rage problem. But no, I was gonna say if you go watch on YouTube called Super Smash and Ice Climbers, and if these people will beat you with Ice Climbers, yeah, and once you get a grip, that's it. There's no, and then most people when they get gripped, the opponent just unplugs the controller and they just walk
They're
away.
like, I'm done.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's really funny. They'll be like, "Oh, I got you."
All right, we're done.
Walks away.
Good game.
Good game.
One of the there's a guy who's called SF God, and he does like tutorial videos, right? And one of his tutorial videos was why you shouldn't rage or whatever, and he was just showing it like he's like telling you, stuff that if you're calm and thinking about it, it's like, yes, of course that makes sense. Don't get mad. It just makes you play worse and worse and worse and worse. But what happens is you lose. You're like, well, I gotta get my points back to go back to Super Silver. And you're like, oh, I lost again. I gotta get my points back. It's like
Frustration sets
gambling
in.
almost,
Yeah,
right?
it's
But
gambling, for sure.
But you're losing and you're getting more mad. You want to murder some random person on the internet. But like
You're fucking up my
like,
score.
He's showing like other people raging in these things, and that's where I saw it. Like the guy who he loses, he's standing on this side, and the one guy's like, I mean, he just won, so he's just like just waiting for the next person to get up. This guy gets up, takes his stick, bam, and throws, and you see it like chuck up, and he just like, there goes. He looks back at the screen and goes,
All right then.
nice thumbs up.
All right, guys. I think we're gonna rage quit this episode. We've been going on about this Evo for quite some time. You guys should definitely check it out next year. I think we're gonna get more than one of us
I'm
to
gonna sign up.
try and get in
Hey.
on one.
We have some interviews from
Worst
the event,
case
so-
scenario.
We do have some interviews. We're gonna put up some cool stuff on YouTube
Yes.
and
finally.
Instagram. Check out that.
So next year we gotta figure out who's going to Evo and who's going to Star Trek.
Yes, maybe.
What's our
guys have fun
Hopefully,
at
it's
Star
not
Trek.
the same weekend.
what's our next movie for?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So next week for our No Outside Flix Allowed segment, it's going to be The Legacy of a White-Tailed Deer Hunter. How about that title?
Not
I'll
wordy
put that
enough.
link on the description.
Yes. And it's got Josh Brolin and who else was
Danny
it?
McBride.
Danny McBride. So it's going to be
Kenny
a
Powers.
crazy, funny comedy with a bunch of fart jokes. I'm sure.
I hope it's comedy. I mean, looks funny enough.
Anyway, anything else to close the show, guys?
That's it.
Make sure you
Go
subscribe
play
to our
Street
YouTube
Fighter.
at last.
Subscribe to YouTube. We're going to have some more videos coming up for sure.
Thank you to everyone at Evo that took the time to talk to us. Yeah, we got multiple interviews you're going
Tangible?
to put up. Yeah, Tangible.
Tangible.
Really cool organization
Really
too.
cool clothes. Go tell them what kind of shirts you want. They're looking for more info.
Yeah.
Cup noodles.
Definitely
Tangible
cup,
two Gs.
cup of noodles.
Cup of
Jack.
noodles.
Cup
We
of
want
noodles.
you to
Oh my
sponsor
God.
us.
How do you like your
hopefully.
cup of noodles? I like my cup of noodles with vegetables and shrimp. No,
Great, that
no,
was
it just
great.
left me. Told you.
Well, I definitely want to thank Gagne for coming out, joining us this weekend.
Yes,
Awesome
sir.
to
It was
have you in
very fun.
studio.
Vegas with you guys. It's been a blast.
You're finally in studio with
I know.
us.
Episode 30. It only took
Right.
more than half a year. That's all right.
Well, we've had a lot of fun at the convention and definitely having you in town. It's been fun.
Yeah, there'll be some more on-location stuff coming from all of us, I think.
Yes, sir.
So.
We'll be in Bend doing the film festival here in a few months.
Yes. That's gonna be dope.
Yeah. So check us out next week, guys. Thanks for listening. Check us out, obviously, on iTunes and Podbean and Amazon and all that good stuff.
Sure, you can. Perfect out.
Adios.